Here we go. College football questions.
All right, Doug. The college football playoff standings are out. Georgia 1, Michigan 2, Washington 3, Florida State 4. Oregon, Ohio State, Texas, and Bama round out the top 8. Conference title games this weekend. When it all shakes out, though, who are the final 4 teams that make it?
You know, this is a dangerous answer because I know that things don't work this way, but I actually think all the favorites are going to win. I think some of these games might be close. And then the only question is if Florida State gets jumped by someone. Because, let's say, anybody is more impressive. But I guess if all the favorites win, it only comes down to Ohio State with a chance to jump Florida State. And I don't think they can with Florida State winning. So I think it's going to be kind of boring. I think chalk is going to hold Georgia versus Florida State in the Sugar Bowl, and Michigan will take on the favorite in the Pac-12 title game, Oregon, in the Rose Bowl.
Oh, so I'm sorry. So you have a Final Four of Michigan and you have Oregon beating Washington?
Yeah, they're the favorite. Oregon's the favorite.
This is true, but they're
I know
the 3-team ranked country.
I know.
Okay, well, it's interesting because I look at this and I say Florida State wins, they're in. They're undefeated, so they would be in. I don't care that their starting quarterback got hurt. They've done enough the last 2 weeks, and if they beat Louisville, who cares? You just beat Louisville with your backup quarterback. Louisville's a good team. My 4, number 1 seed, Michigan.
Whoa.
They will play Alabama.
Wow.
And Florida State plays Oregon.
Wow, you got a shakeup.
I got a shakeup. I got Alabama beating Georgia, and I have Oregon beating Washington.
Yours is way more exciting than my boring-ass answer.
Well, Gator's right, Doug, because this is what college football wants. They want controversy. They want a shakeup. I've got Georgia, Michigan, Washington, and Texas. Okay, I think Florida State loses, Texas jumps to them. That's my shakeup, and I think there's going to be controversy, of course, with that call.
Oh, there'll be controversy,
but that's what the football committee wants, people. Don't act like they want the perfect 4. They want you arguing. They want more eyeballs, more talking about their game. Gator, I like yours, though.
All right, thank you. I like the controversy you're going to create, though.
I don't even like mine.
Yeah, yours sucks, Doug.
Yeah. Thanks for playing.
All right, Mike Elko work at Texas A&M.
Look, if they're patient, it should work. He's a hell of a coach. He knows what he's doing. He was there before as a defensive coordinator. He knows the landscape. I know that Mike and Rico were talking about the crazy kind of press conference they had with the bodies swaying and singing songs and stuff like that.
Their war cry or whatever.
Right. Look, it can be all hokey and all that, but he knows all that stuff. He's a hell of a football coach. I just question whether or not Texas A&M is going to be patient enough. This is obviously it's SEC country, and you're bringing in Texas and Oklahoma next year. It's not going to be easy, but I think you've got a head start because you've got the coach and you clearly have the backing of NIL that you can go out and get the right players, and he'll know how to handle that.
So it's interesting. It depends on your definition of work, right? The question is, will Mike Elko work? The bar by the previous coach wasn't set particularly high, as Jimbo won 7.5 games on average a year there. So if this guy averages 8 or more, he's already doing better. But what else is interesting about that job, and we know how this can be, is with Texas joining the Southeastern Conference, that means Texas and Texas A&M are going to start playing again. And so even if you win at the same rate as Jimbo, but you beat Texas, I think he's got that second sort of thing out there that could allow him to be successful, is because he's going to have that rivalry game back that he will be judged on probably just as much as his overall record. Now, that can also be a pitfall as well. But I think he will do as good / better than Jimbo, and he won't be paid as much, so he has a better chance to be perceived as a success at Texas A&M.
No, it's not going to work. This is Texas A&M, and they're just going to burn through money like they burn through oil. Find the next coach in a couple years and let it all happen again, guys. Tom Allen is out at Indiana.
What?
Who would make sense for in Bloomington?
There's a guy out there that has taken a job like Indiana that is available, and it's one of those jobs like Indiana. You look at Indiana and you go, how do you win consistently at Indiana?
Not easy.
But I would say, how do you win consistently at Northwestern? I would call Pat Fitzgerald and try and give him a second act in the Big Ten and do it in Bloomington.
That's interesting. A lot of
My
litigation.
first answer was boring as hell.
Yeah, no,
Was that one good? You like
That was,
that
a
one?
lot of litigation has to be worked out with that one. I actually wondered if Michigan State would pick up the phone and call Pat Fitzgerald to be a defensive coordinator while he's still working.
Why don't you just get Belichick?
If he's available, is Bill around? Look, I think it would be it's an interesting hire for you. I'm going to go with Jason Candle from Toledo. This is a guy who was in the running for a little bit with the Michigan State job. Not a big enough name, but I think his resume's pretty good. He's only coached at Toledo. He's 65-33 in his career at Toledo. They're 11-1 this year. They're no joke. It's a good football program, and he's never had a losing season while at Toledo, and he's only 44. It's not like this guy is, he's in his 60s or something coaching. He's only 44 years old. So what, he's been in the MAC all this time. He's 44. Give him the bump that he deserves, and I think a program like Indiana is perfect for him.
Gator, you smart SOB. I got Jason Candle as well, man. He's young. He could be the next guy, and I think that's your only chance at Indiana is to get that next guy before he leaves you. But before he leaves you, that means hopefully he's really good and other teams want him. Yeah, he's been doing very well at Toledo. I actually think they go after Paul Chris, though. I think they're going to go after a guy who's been in the Big Ten before, and that wouldn't be a bad hire either, but I would go after Jason Candle. Is the Heisman Trophy vote down to just Bo Nix and Jaden Daniels now?
I think it is. And I feel bad for Jaden Daniels because he doesn't have another game on his resume like Bo Nix is going to have this weekend. And Bo Nix gets it against, the number 3 team in the country with Washington. But what he's done at Oregon is incredible. 3,900 yards passing, 37 touchdowns this year, only 2 interceptions. Bo Nix is an amazing player. Add to that he's also made plays with his feet. I love what Bo Nix has done. He's been pretty consistent there. But Jaden Daniels, man, that's where the real shine is. Despite the numbers I just listed off for Bo Nix, Jaden Daniels isn't far off from that. He's got 3,800 yards passing, more touchdowns with 40. He's only got 4 interceptions, so it's only 2 more. And he's run for 1,100 yards and 10 more touchdowns. Jaden Daniels is the best player in the country, and he deserves to get that recognition. Unfortunately, if Bo Nix has a big game on Saturday night, or just even an average game for him, 300 yards passing, couple touchdowns, he's got it.
So the question is down to those two, and the answer is no. Right now, Bo Nix does lead the country in passing yards with 3,906. A mere 7 yards behind him is this quarterback named Michael Penix Jr. And if Penix has a huge game on Saturday or Friday night against Oregon and leads them to a sweep over Bo Nix's team, I think Penix is still in play, who had a very good game in the first win over Oregon.
You're right, Doug. Penix is still in play. I've always been a Washington and Penix guy myself. But I think it should go to Jaden Daniels, to be honest with you. You just listed off the numbers, Gator. The passing numbers are similar between the three. It's the rushing totals that puts him over the top. 1,000 yards over 10, 11 touchdowns rushing. I think in the end, that could get it for him. You need either a big game by Bo Nix or a big game by Michael Penix to take away from Jaden Daniels. In my opinion, I'd give it to Jaden Daniels. If you were Ryan Day, would you actually be covertly looking for another job, maybe in the NFL or another Power 5 program if it becomes available?
So this is a personal question, right? If you are the coach of that program and you have the outstanding record that he has, but it's starting to get uncomfortable, I think it depends on how big your ears are, how much you can cocoon yourself and isolate yourself from, I think, some pretty unfair criticism. So the question is, if I am Ryan Day, absolutely, because I'm a wuss. I'd be like, yeah, I'll look at the NFL. And there's going to be a Power 5 job that comes available that we don't foresee right now. So, and I would do it extremely, like the word says, covertly. They're not going to fire him, okay? That's not probably a realistic possibility here. But I would covertly be checking my options, because I bet he would be much more appreciated at some other places and well compensated.
No, I'm not. If I'm Ryan Day, I'm not leaving. I want to prove that I can get this done, and you're going to have a team next year that's going to be one of the top 5 teams in the country once again, because that's what you do, Ohio State. You reload, and you'll have McCord with all the experience he gathered this year. Now you got him next year as an experienced veteran quarterback. He'll be ready to go. I think that's that's a big difference. Plus, you're looking at what Michigan's going to look like next year, which is your main competition. This is why people want you to leave. What's Michigan going to look like next year? Are they the same team? Well, how many players are they going to graduate? How many players are going to go to the NFL from that team, including the quarterback? So I think it should bode well for Ohio State next season, and I ain't leaving if I'm Ryan Day.
No, I ain't leaving. Ohio State's a great job. That is a Power 5 program, and I don't care. I know it sucks. Everyone's talking about you right now because you can't beat Michigan, but you actually have beat Michigan before. You know, you can do it again, Ryan Day. You have the resources. You have the big program behind you. Block out the noise. Do what you do, and just try to win big football games. At worst, you make them fire you. You don't leave. All right, guys, you're offered a suite at the national championship game, okay? All expenses paid. There's one catch. You have to go with your most annoying friend and share a room with him to go. Now, make sure you think about the most annoying friend you have, okay? Really make this hard. Do you still go to the game?
I do not. I can't do it because it would ruin my experience of the game. I want to be surrounded by people. If I'm going to watch it with a group of people, I want to be surrounded by people that I like and that I care about. And if I found out that like there was a watch party for this game, and that guy was going to be at that, I probably wouldn't go to the watch party because that guy is going to ruin it. Don't ruin it for me. I want to have an awesome time. Thanks, but no thanks.
I would go, but Gator, this was your question, and I'm more intrigued as to what the hell made you ask this question.
And who the person is.
Yeah, is there a scenario that played itself out or something? What made you think of this question?
I'm not sure why I thought of it, but now you're asking me. I can think of a time when Michigan State won the national championship in basketball, and they had a tournament game against Syracuse. It was on my birthday. And I went out and with some friends, we went to a bar to watch the game, and there was a guy who was there, was a fringe friend. I wouldn't even call him a friend, but he was a friend of other people. And he was so annoying that I told my roommate at the time, I said, "You have to take me home right now." And he said, "Why?" I said, "Well, A, I'm intoxicated, and 2, I'm going to deck this guy in this bar if you don't get me out of here." So we left.
All right, there you go. I'd go.
Because you don't have an annoying friend, or
no, I go and I deal with the annoying, or just tune them out.
Yeah, I think that's. I mean,
Maybe
I just have to.
Plus, you have to stay with them in a room.
Yeah, in the same bed.
Well, wait, whoa.
Yeah, share the room.
Would you go?
Yeah, I'd make it work. I mean, it's a national championship game. All expenses paid. You basically just put the blinders on, and it's you just don't engage. I mean, they're going to talk, right? They're going to be annoying, but you just don't give them anything to work with.
And that concludes the live animal mascot NIL transfer portal marching band thingy on Karsch and Anderson on 97.1 The Ticket.